house, and it too was burned, though not as completely as the first two. Was the whole neighborhood like this? He leaned against the front corner of the house and brought his rifle scope to his eye. Couldn't see through the trees to across the road where the other houses were supposed to be. He avoided the driveway and moved forward through the trees, very cautiously. If they'd been attacked a few days back, attacked with fire, the survivors would be damned quick to shoot. He crossed the private road without incident, but his neck crawled with fear for the seconds he was exposed. Two of the driveways on the downhill side of the road were visible. Left or right? Left was nearer to the main road, to Sierra, the car, and a quick escape. So he crossed onto that property, again avoiding the driveway, and cut up directly to where the house would most likely be. This house still stood, undamaged. He watched through the scope, but saw no sign of movement. For 10 minutes he stood still and watched. Sierra would be getting restless. He could almost feel it, feel her pacing, hear her thinking about coming and finding him. He backtracked until he was in the backyard of the most burned house, and then jogged through the backyards until he hit the road again. Sierra's face was tense. "Trouble?" he explained. "Those poor people. I wonder if it was one of the groups who got to us who did it. Or the new group that took over Payson, like your friend said. I hope not them. That means we could be next on their list. No way of knowing. Not unless there are people here to tell us. And so far I see no one. I'm thinking if they were burned out on one side of the road, we shouldn't walk up the other side and knock on a door. No. Let's approach those other houses from the rear. If they're here, one of the three is probably working in a garden." They crossed the road, slid into the woods again, walked a half-mile parallel to the main road, and then turned right. "I'll do it this time," Sierra said. "Go up close. Let's do it together, if we need to lay down covering fire for the other." "Got it. You lead if you want." He did want. The hill was steeper on this side, and the footing less secure, with more rocks underfoot. He was glad to have the extra pair of eyes watching for a human threat, for he needed to watch his feet to keep from tripping. The first house was close to the main road. They kneeled in the woods, him watching through a scope, her using binoculars. There was a large shed in the back of the house with a chicken coop attached. No chickens were out pecking in the dirt. No one was in the garden, which seemed normal to him. The house looked a little less nice than his own or Sierra's. It needed a coat of paint. Sierra moved on her knees to his side. She whispered, "The garden has been harvested recently." So they'd simply left? He motioned for her to stay where she was, and he ran up behind the shed. He unlatched the door to the chicken coop and looked inside. Not a hen, not an egg. He approached the nearest window to the shed and took a quick look inside, snatching his head back fast, in case someone was in there. No gunfire erupted, so he looked again, waiting until his eyes adjusted to the dimness, shading them from the sunlight. No one was in there. Rakes and hoes and shovels leaned against the wall, and there were hoses and a tool bench and tools still on a pegboard, and a number of metal cabinets. But no people. He waved Sierra forward. She was fast and lithe, moving like an athlete, reaching his side without being the least bit out of breath. Her expression asked a question. He shrugged in answer. Then he held up a finger while he considered their options. He'd have to risk going to the house. He thought it was likely, 4 chances in 5, that no one was there. But it could also be that someone had stolen all the hens, and the people were locked in the house with rifles pointed at him. It could also be someone was injured in there, or dead. With signals, he told her to stop at the corner of the shed and cover him. Then he sprinted hard for the corner of the dingy white house. He made it, and slammed himself against the wall. But there hadn't been a sound or any hint of people being here. Not a shot, not a voice. Nothing. Okay. At some point, he was going to have to try this, so may as well do it right quick. He ran for the back door and grabbed the doorknob. It gave